Who's ready to hit the slopes? Welcome to MojoTravels, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 ski destinations in the western US.
Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to MojoTravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we're looking at some of the best, most highly regarded, unique, and sometimes underrated downhill resort areas across the western United States. Number 10, Breckenridge, Colorado. Boasting the single highest lift in not only the United States, but all of North America, Breckenridge seems like a solid place to start our alpine adventure. The lift that earns the resort this distinction, the Imperial Express, carries skiers to an elevation of almost 12,500 feet, which translates to both an epic view and one heck of a thrilling descent. Unfortunately, Breckenridge's claim to fame is both a blessing and a curse. The Imperial Express, paired with the resort's numerous other selling points, made it the single most visited resort in the United States over the 2018-2019 season. And while most skiers are happy to share the mountain, crowds that large can detract from the experience. That being said, with its diverse terrain, affordable accommodations, and historic namesake mining town, Breckenridge nonetheless has a lot to offer. Number 9, Squaw Valley, Lake Tahoe, California. Squaw Valley is a true alpine paradise, especially for the more advanced and adventurous skier. It's widely considered to offer some of the best terrain on the entire West Coast. The weather can sometimes be withholding in terms of snowfall, but when there's fresh powder, it's among the finest you can find anywhere on the planet. The town itself lacks some of the infrastructure and quintessential charms that skiers have come to expect from a resort area, but honestly, you'll be so exhausted from tearing down the mountain that you likely won't have much energy left for going out at night anyways. The mountain also gets bonus points for the picturesque views of Lake Tahoe that can be seen from Squaw Peak. Number 8, Big Sky, Montana. Occupying over 5,800 acres of terrain, roughly 4,500 feet of vertical drop, and with more than 300 trails open each season, serviced by 34 lifts, Big Sky has a lot of numbers going for it. Throw in the intimidating Lone Peak, and it's safe to say that even the most experienced of skiers will find challenges. For those looking for a more relaxed afternoon of skiing, Big Sky's seemingly endless acres of intermediate terrain offer plenty of fun with little risk of crowd. Like Squaw Valley, Big Sky isn't nearly as developed as Colorado resorts, but the nearly perfect weather and consistent snow conditions more than make up the difference. Number 7, Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Colorado is widely regarded as the American mecca for skiing and snowboarding, which is why it takes up such a substantial portion of our list today. Given the popularity of the area, resorts can tend to get quite crowded, which is one of the most appealing things about Steamboat. It's totally underappreciated. It's a bit further from Denver than the competition, it's smaller than previous entries at just under 3,000 acres, and its elevation is a bit lower. But it still has a lot to offer, especially for those who prioritize snow quality above all else. The precipitation here is arguably the most consistent of anywhere in the state, and people speak of its champagne powder with reference. Add to that a classic Western resort, again with smaller crowds than usual, and you begin to understand why it's considered a hidden gem. Number 6, Alta and Snowbird, Utah. Forgive us for talking about two different resorts in the same breath, but it seemed unfair to talk about one and not the other. And unlike some neighbors, they actually play together quite nicely. They even offer a joint day pass. Snowbird, which lies to the west of Alta, has always been seen as the big brother of the two due to its more substantial infrastructure, as well as the high-profile developments it's undertaken in recent years, including the much-celebrated Snowbird tram. Given that the two resorts are located just under 35 minutes from Salt Lake City Airport, they're incredibly convenient to get to. Alta, for its part, is one of the oldest ski resorts in the nation. Though it's got fewer modern touches, it evens the scale with its location. Sitting at the end of Little Cottonwood Canyon, it's blessed with a little extra powder. This won't do snowboarders much good, however, as it's a skiers-only resort. Number 5, Aspen, Colorado. When people think of skiing, Aspen is one of the first words that comes to mind, and it more than lives up to its literally lofty reputation. Not only is it said to be among the best-groomed mountains in the West, with an efficient lift system that cuts down on wait times, but the town itself checks every box you could ask for. From dining and nightlife to family-centric activities, Aspen's really got it all. Unfortunately, that name recognition comes at a cost. Staying in Aspen is not for the budget-minded. That being said, considering your lift ticket gives you access to 4 distinct arenas, Aspen, Buttermilk, Aspen Highlands, and Snowmass, you're getting a lot of quality skiing for your money. Number 4, Park City, Utah. Colorado might have the greatest variety of high-profile ski resorts, but Utah does pretty well for itself. After all, Park City is the largest ski area in the United States. Plus, like Alta and Snowbird, it's quite easy to get to from Salt Lake City Airport, as the drive is only about 45 minutes. And at the end of that drive, you're rewarded with a staggering 7,300 acres or so of skiable terrain, encompassing 8 peaks, 22 miles worth of lifts, and 348 trails. As for the city itself, it ranks very highly in terms of entertainment value. It is, after all, the home of the famous Sundance Film Festival. The historic Main Street is all kinds of charming. Number 3, Telluride, Colorado. We've got one word for you: backcountry. If you prefer to eschew the beaten path, or trail, then Telluride and its terrain variety is for you. The powder here is of the champagne variety and can usually be counted on to be in plentiful supply. At about 2,000 acres of skiable area and 148 trails, it might not be quite as mammoth in size as some of the resorts we've looked at today, but like we said, the backcountry is so extensive that you're unlikely to get bored, even after multiple return visits. The town also warrants a mention. Though small and a bit pricey, there's no denying its historic charms or Instagrammability. Number 2, Vail, Colorado. As prominent as it is, Vail does get a fair amount of criticism, as it does get very crowded. And based on how many people complain about the parking, it would seem that the infrastructure sags under the numbers. It's also a bit expensive, but all that being said, the simple fact remains that Vail offers some of the very best skiing in America. For many, it's the resort by which others are judged. The grooming is top-notch, the terrain is varied, if a little lacking in terms of steeps, the lodging options are legion and higher end, and as many have argued, the mountain offers unparalleled views. Plus, with over 5,000 acres of terrain, boredom will not be a problem in any way. Number 1, Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Like Aspen, this is a skiing destination with a whole lot of name recognition. With an average of over 475 inches of snowfall per year, the conditions are seemingly always top-notch. And yet, its other statistics don't do nearly as good a job selling Jackson Hole, especially not compared to some of the other resorts discussed today. So what makes Jackson Hole our number 1 pick, considering it covers a relatively small area, 2,500 acres, and only has 133 trails serviced by 12 lifts? Quite simply, it's unlike any other mountain resort in America. The terrain is endlessly interesting, boasting epic steeps and backcountry that never fails to thrill, without feeling totally exclusive to advanced skills skiers. The couloirs, chutes, and bowls available here will change the way you ski, and can make you fall in love with the sport all over again.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from MojoTravels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.